I used to really struggle with sleep, whether that was fear or revenge bedtime procrastination. I created a night routine that works for me, and now I can sleep at a regular time, sleep for 8 or 9 hours. I feel well rested. It's all going well, and I kind of can't believe it. So in this video, I'm going to explain what works for me so it can help you too. Hello and welcome back to my channel. The first thing that has helped me is to set 2 bedtimes. Now, if you want, you could set an alarm. There was a point where I did set an alarm. The first bedtime is where you're going to start getting ready for bed, whether that's you're going to take off your makeup, you're going to have a shower, you're going to brush your teeth. It's basically switching from doing things to being like, now we're getting ready to go to sleep. So you might set your bedtime, your first bedtime at like 9:30, or it could be 10. It depends like what time you want to try and go to sleep. It could be helpful to try and change things gradually, or you could just be like, I'm going to try, instead of going to bed at midnight, to go to bed at 10. Just try and make sure you're really active during the day. But the first bedtime is getting ready for bed and turning your phone off, turning your laptop off. I do still have my tablet, which I will have a TV show on in the background. That is something that I'm still working on, but I mean, for now, it's not really getting in the way. It doesn't stop me from sleeping. The second bedtime is when you are literally about to go to sleep. And just having this in your head, it really helps me to break up the task of getting ready for bed. And that might sound really silly, but I do sometimes struggle with executive function. And so it's quite helpful to not associate all of these tasks like brushing your teeth or taking your makeup off. I do, like, when I'm doing those things, I'm like, oh yes, this is taking care of myself. I'm so happy that I'm able to do this, because when I was in my addiction, I couldn't do this stuff. But just the thought of it beforehand is quite off-putting. So then I can end up, if I don't have those 2 bedtimes, I can associate brushing my teeth with going to bed immediately afterwards. And then it becomes one big task that I don't want to do. But if I break it up, I'm like, first of all, we're going to just brush our teeth, get ready for bed, and then we can sit and watch TV for an hour or read for an hour, and then we're going to bed. That helps me. So I really encourage you to try this if it sounds like something that could help you as well. The next thing is to become more organized. I know that's such a big thing to say, but if you get done what you want to get done during the day, at least I find this, if I have like edited a video, or I've done my work, or whatever I wanted to do today, clean my room, read, spend time with my family, if I've done all those things, it's then a lot easier for me to go to sleep, because I'm like, okay, I've had a full day, I've done the things I wanted to do. Even if I didn't do everything, I still did a lot. And so then it's easier for me to rest and switch off and go to sleep. This is also why it's helpful to have the 2 bedtimes, because even if I'm editing well into the evening, which I try not to do, I try to like give myself lots of space to just chill. But if I am editing until like 10, by the time it gets to 10 and I know that's my first bedtime, I'm like, we're turning the laptop off now. That's done. Like, we can come back to that tomorrow, but we've worked enough for today. That's going. And then I can read afterwards. If you're more organized and get things done during the day, it's giving you less of an excuse to stay up later, because you might be like, well, I need to stay up because I need to do all the stuff that I didn't get done before. The next thing is to keep your promises and be disciplined with yourself. This is a mindset shift that's basically just about building trust. So if you do decide, I'm going to do the 2 bedtime thing, when the alarm goes off, you don't think about it. You just turn the alarm off and then you go get ready for bed. Like, there is no thought involved. It's like, oh, okay, it's this time, now we're going. You keep that promise to yourself. If you said, I'm going to have my first bedtime at 10, my second bedtime, I'm actually going to go to sleep at 11. When the alarm goes off at 10, you go and do it. This is how you build trust with yourself, because you teach yourself, I say something and then I follow through. It can be really simple like that. You know why you want to create this routine, whether you feel tired or you feel annoyed at yourself or you feel like you're caught in this cycle, you don't know how to get out of it. You know your why. Now you owe it to yourself to try and build that bedtime routine. When you've decided what you're going to do and what's going to help you do that, no thought necessary. You just go and do it. Another thing that's helped me a lot is to shower in the evening. So I mentioned executive function. It is so much easier for me to shower in the evening than it is to convince myself in the morning to have a shower. I don't know why. And if you shower in the evening, you might have more time. So you might be like, oh, I can have like a relaxing bath with like my lavender bath oil. And that takes time. And maybe you can't do that in the morning when you're getting ready for work. Maybe I like it because if I've had my shower in the evening, I know the next day I can get up and go immediately on with my day and I don't have to think about showering, because it, as I said, with executive function, it can be something that I procrastinate needlessly. So this just helps me if I build that into the routine. And again, if I at 9:30 I'm like, now I'm going to have a shower, that doesn't mean I'm going to bed yet. If I'm going to bed at 11, but 9:30 is like, okay, now we're going to have a shower. The next thing is to make your room a safe space. So try and keep it tidy. You can do a 10-minute tidy before bed, basically just winding down. Maybe you've got like a clothes chair or a clothes surface where clothes, jumpers, t-shirts tend to accumulate. In the evening before you go to bed, just take 10 minutes to fold those things up and put them away. And you can either do this with a TV show on in the background or some nice relaxing music on in the background, or you can just do in silence. Putting things in their place is a really meditative activity, I find. We mentioned have sleep mode or some blue shade enabled on your phone or on your tablet or on your laptop, so that if you are continuing to look at your screen to watch something or whatever, it's not that like bright light that might be keeping you awake. You could do some stretching or some deep breathing, just anything that's like getting you in this calm state of like, okay, now is a time to rest and be quiet and be still. You could light a sleep candle. I've got a cowshed one which has like lavender oils and it smells so good. I also have a pillow spray. We're going to come on to that later. Or you can have an LED candle or just like a little tea light. Just anything that's going to help create a safe, cozy environment. And as well, especially now that it's winter, because it gets dark so early, you can start this a lot earlier and just create this really nice sanctuary or like safe space in your room, even from like 6 o'clock or whenever you want to get into your pajamas. It could be 4. I mean, it gets dark by 4 now. And then the second bedtime, immediately before bed, I find it helpful to have a little sequence of things that I go through. Just again, like a mini routine to like remind myself and show like, okay, we're getting ready for bed now. We're literally about to try and go to sleep. Even just a tiny sequence. So I've got like lip balm, hand cream, some supplements that I have to take right before bed, the pillow spray that I mentioned, and just those things in a sequence. I'm like, yes, okay, I'm ready for bed now. It signals something to me. And if all of the other things that we're talking about seem overwhelming, maybe just start with something like this, where it's like, okay, I'm going to put on my hand cream and say a prayer and then go to sleep, right? Like make a little sequence of things that you do and then you lie down and try and go to sleep. It depends what you're struggling with this, obviously. If you're struggling in terms of like procrastination, I think some of the things I've talked about so far can be helpful. But if it is like bigger things like fear, I think then maybe the things about like creating a safe space or having some kind of sequence you go through, maybe you want to say a certain psalm before bed, or maybe there's like a meditation app that you can play that can try and get you away from whatever fear or anxiety is coming up when you're trying to go to sleep. It is really difficult. If you're struggling, it's okay. This is a process. You'll also go through cycles with this, even if you decide like this is going to be my new nighttime routine. It may work for a month, it may work for 6 months, but then it gets to summer, maybe you're then doing more things or it's lighter later. I certainly find that in the winter I need more sleep, and I think it's just because it gets dark so early, so maybe that's signaling something to my brain being like, okay, time to wind down now. So it is a process and things will change and you can try different things and you don't have to beat yourself up. I know if you're a perfectionist or if you're trying to look for like a quick solution to something, this can maybe be annoying or it's really difficult to implement, right? And to hear like you don't have to be perfect or it doesn't always have to go the same way, that can feel really empty or feel really annoying because you're like, okay, but how do I have this like perfectionist tendency or whatever, how do I get past that? I think if you just keep going, and it really helps me to remember that you can restart anytime. And this goes for anything, right? But if you start picking up bad habits again, maybe you're staying up really late or you're not brushing your teeth in the evening or you leave things to the last minute and then you feel really stressed and then you can't go to sleep because then you're overthinking things. If you find yourself doing that, you can always reset immediately. What can I do now to set myself up for a better day tomorrow so that I don't end up doing the same thing? You can restart anytime. I, this morning, was feeling really like low mood and really sad, but I was like, I'm gonna put on some makeup and film a video, and already I can feel like a shift in my energy. You don't have to wait for anything. Like you can literally just take a deep breath and be like, okay, that's my fresh start. Like that deep breath, it's gone badly so far, but we're restarting again now, and that's fine. So I hope what I've said here has been helpful and given you some good ideas to get started. Please share in the comments what has helped you build a nighttime routine if it's something that you've struggled with in the past, like me. Yeah, and we can all help each other, sharing our own experience of what has helped us. I will leave my video about how to become a morning person because that links nicely with this topic and maybe will give you some motivation for getting up early and thus also making sure you go to sleep at a reasonable time and have a good nighttime routine so that you can go to bed early and then wake up early. So if you want to watch that, please check that out. God bless. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.